Hello, here we have an instructional video for the Olympia sm3. I'll be working on a 1965 sm3, and begin by opening your case to press both of the levers at once and lift up. And hand my camera off to my lovely assistant. Here you go, lovely assistant. You will press down both the levers at once, lift up on the front of the machine. It's best to grab underneath, then pull forward. Pick up your machine, and most likely the carriage will be locked. The carriage lock is right here. In the down position, that unlocks it. As far as using paper goes, inserting it, it's best to use 24-pound paper, which costs just the same as regular 20-pound paper, which is your printer paper or photocopier paper, slightly thicker and higher thread, all that good stuff. 2 pieces if you have an older platen, which little roller there is your platen. 2 pieces will cushion it quite a bit better than just one. Insert them into the machine where they're sitting flush, both against the little paper guide here and against the feed rollers down inside. Once you have it seated flush, hold it with one hand, spin the roller until it comes around. You do have a paper release right here. Your carriage release is right here. Move your carriage back and forth. Your line index is right here. This sets your spacing. Single space, 1.5, or 2 spaces. Your carriage return is here, which the carriage return can be used to cycle the indexing by itself or to move the carriage all at once. Your paper rest, a little button right back here, push that, doink, pops up. That will come up. Generally, if you're using 11-inch paper, then the second notch there will get you almost to the very bottom. As far as your typing position goes, it depends on your own personal style. The sm3 and the sm4 both have an individual touch selector, which when lifting the front up, you want to grab on the inside and pull up. It is hinged in the back. Your touch selector is right here. This dictates exactly how much pressure is needed to strike your keys, and it also affects the rebound speed of the type bars. If you're a faster typer, then you're going to want a heavier setting. If you're a slower typer, new to the machine, then you can go with a lower setting. I like it at about in the middle. It's different for every machine and for every typer. As far as changing the ribbon goes, it's often easier to do it with the lid removed, which to remove the lid, you can push in on one side while you're pushing over with the other. This will release one side, and then the lid just comes straight off. For changing the ribbon, you're going to want to pull the guides back out of the way, pull your ribbons straight up. That will pull them out of the little guides right here, and if you push your shift lock down, that will raise up the paper guide, and then you can do your H and your N keys together, which will raise the vibrator even further. Your ribbon selector is right here. It is the 3-position selector. The top position is for the top half of the ribbon. All the way in the bottom is for the bottom half of the ribbon. The center, or the white position, is actually not using the ribbon at all. That's used for cutting stencils, which is for mimeographs, which nobody uses anymore. So if you go to type on your typewriter and it's kind of making an impression, but absolutely nothing is printing, check this first. That's most likely the culprit. As far as the paper guides up here, you'll notice 2 little holes on them, right in there. These can be used to draw lines with a pencil. Voila, pencil lines. You'll also notice a button right here on the end. This is used in case you need to line up on a line, which you can set your type line against the very bottom right there. Likewise, there is also an index release here. This one will allow the carriage to spin without clicking, but as soon as you release it, it'll go back to the previous setting. With the knob, it will go to a new position completely independent of the previous setting. As far as the tab functions on it goes, your tab is right there. That allows you 5 different presets with the sm3 and an almost infinite number with the sm4. The tab settings are right here. To move them, you push and then slide and release, and it will click into place. I generally keep mine set at 10 or at 15 and then 20, and then space them out. And the reason I set that one at 15 is because I normally set my margins up here at 10, and 5 spaces in set your paragraph spacing. To move your margins, squish them together and then slide to wherever you desire it to be. Your paper bail, this thing right here, on this particular sm3 is a 2-position paper bail. You can either pull it forward or raise it up. Some of them have a fixed paper bail that only raises up and does not lift forward. As far as the ribbon direction goes, because when the ribbon gets to one end, if you have a ribbon that either has a knot tied in the end of it or it has one of the little grommets that catches on this, then the ribbon will automatically catch. If the ribbon does not have a knot, say that at 12 times fast. If it does not have a knot, if it does not have a knot or a grommet in it, then you will need to shift the direction of the ribbon manually when you get to the end. This is done by switching the direction. There will be a small click and it will lock into place. And it's best to eyeball the direction of the ribbon is traveling as you're typing. Like that's not the correct direction. That'll be the correct direction for this one. I believe that really about covers it as far as the mechanics of the machine. As far as the keys that may be in question, the MR margin release button, which on some of the earlier machines just has 4 little dots right here, that allows you to exceed the position of your margins. So you're typing up to this point, there's your ding, and it stops. Hit your margin release, and it continues. Likewise, this goes the other direction. If you need to get past your initial point on the left-hand side, you can hit the margin release and go on past it. The tab key, which, going back to the tab settings that we hit earlier, moves the carriage rapidly across. It's generally advisable to brace the carriage with your hand against the left-hand side in case the tab malfunctions, or just to lessen the shock on the machine. As far as routine maintenance on the machine goes, you really don't need to oil it, and if you do ever oil it, about the only thing that might require it would be these little traces right in here that the bearings ride in. The segment through here you never want to oil, ever. Pretty much any of the joints, anything on the red frame down inside, you don't want to oil. Those were not designed to be oiled. They operate better dry. If you do oil it, all that's going to happen is it will begin to collect dust after about a month to 2 months, and a year from now you'll have to send the machine off to get it cleaned out and refurbished. I believe that's about it. So there you go. Enjoy.